And welcome, race fans, to another episode here at CRN with the CSRL Multi-Class League with the LMP2s and the GT3s, both Pro and Am in both classes at Detroit. Another street course. And yeah, I'm Jimmy Covert up in the booth here, solo at the moment. My partner, Carl Hanwork, should be here momentarily. But until then, we will go ahead and get this thing rolling and get the practice results and qualifying results out here as the drivers are getting ready to take the field. And go ahead and we'll get that started here up on the screen and start going through the lineup here. And you can see tonight's pole sitter is going to be Craig Jancic along with Dace Keeling there on the outside. Second row is going to be Savani Montegraw and Bryce Reiner there for the LMP2s, and then obviously they'll continue to scroll through on the screen. Just want to talk a little bit about the point standings as we come in here. Only this race and one more to go here for CSRL. Next race next week, on the 3rd of June, will be a 2-hour last race for at Road America. So it should be a fun one. Definitely an endurance type event for the drivers here at CSRL. Right now, Dace Keeling is your points leader for the LMP2 Pro over Craig Jancic, Bryce Reiner in third, and then Devin Young and Trent Blaylock will round out your top 5 for the LMP2 Pros. LMP2 AMs is going to be Paul Smith, then Rana Dilemma, Bill Burrell, A.B. Pedley, and Brandon Potts. And then back in the GT3, and can't forget the rookies. Got Jordan Fox and Justin Flagg with Logan Key and Richard Hearn battling it out there. And then GT3's Christopher Hamilton leads the Pro over Tyler Torville, Ricky Renner, Kyle Kobler, and Noah Bourgeois. And in your GT3 AM is going to be Christian Ortiz Torres, Cesar Colon Torres, Ian Southern, Cameron Burke, and Logan Branson, all battling there for the AM. So points are there. If you need a better look, you can go over to CoreRacingLeague.com, head over to the Core Racing Network tab, and scroll down to our partners, and you can find not only CSRL, but you can find all the other leagues that we carry here at CRN. So tonight, obviously, they're out here getting ready to take on Detroit, and not a fan favorite of myself, as them walls really do come in quickly here at Detroit, and one mistake can end up to a pileup, and something that the driver's going to need to be a little patient with each other and get them themselves out there and be able to be careful. But we have 45 cars on the track, so again, another night here breaking the 40 barrier here at CSRL. So plenty of drivers in each class, in each car, and it's just been a pleasure this season to see that many people. But pace cars and Craig Jancic will lead them off here and gets a good start there in front of Dace Keeling as they head down into the first few turns. And obviously an interesting one here is the LMP2s will go ahead and start this thing off. But yeah, see a lot of drivers sporting the 18 to honor the fallen driver that we had last week. So obviously want to remember all the drivers that are out there in real life and on sim. So we've had a few sim drivers no longer with us as well. Have we given the time to go ahead and honor those drivers as well. So they're not forgotten, always part of the CRN family, and obviously part of the leagues that they were part of as they were driving. But nice start there by Craig Jancic, and you can see the LMP2s I don't see any incidents or wrecks going on there early on. So good start for that part of the field. And then back, with your GT3s just getting underway here as well, as rookie Ryan Merriam is I'm not quite sure if he got moved yet or not, but has been driving with a force here and giving a lot of these GT3 drivers a run for their money. Been very quick early on throughout the races. Been great battles. But I see a good big bottle up crash here with the GT3s, starting with Logan Branson back here. We'll see what happened to the number 43, and you can see him coming down into the corners and just maybe getting in a little bit tight there into the back of the number 44. It's going to end up setting himself sideways, and you know that causes a lot of problems. You see him drifted out and around the track. Drivers doing the best they can, but hitting the wall there. The 18 is going to take some damage. Some drivers stopping for him. Ian Southern there, one of them, some net code going on from probably the car blinking out, and drivers just trying to survive here early, but unable to, as it looks like Michael Borlowski and a few other drivers involved there as well. Sorry, there's Cameron Burke, Cesar Clones Torres, John Newman, Eric Martin, obviously kind of involved with it. They stopped or got a little bit of that net code. It does look like Michael Borlowski and René Dilemma had an issue here as well. So some early incidents here, obviously with the LMP2s as well. Go down and see what happened here. Is obviously these tight corners, drivers, you really got to be careful. But yeah, 369 sideways there in the middle of the track, and just kind of nowhere to go. Drivers actually do a pretty good job of getting around and allowing the drivers to kind of go by. So, but it's very hard that once that car goes around to get it going back the right way, and that's why the here at CSRL they do give each other, each class gives each other some really good space from the start. They set those starting zones up prior in the week in their Discord, and they explain to the drivers where their start zones are. So LMP2s will start going and then back out there. But let me get everything up on the screen here for you, get everything where everybody's at, and show you the class display up on top. Who is your leader? Jancic leading the LMP2 Pros, Smith in the LMP2 AMs, Hearn in the rookies, then Merriam with the rookie GT3s, then Pisano is your GT3 Pro leader over, and then Torres in your GT3 AM. We got other overlays to get up here, track map and all that fun stuff. So we'll get the towers up so you can see where all your favorite drivers may be. So welcome everybody out there, and another night here of racing, another 45 minutes here at can be very difficult track. It's just maybe not so difficult, but just extremely focused on not getting too much curve, getting bounced off, and being slowed down enough to make the next turn, and trying to get as much speed around this track as possible to get yourself a good finish here tonight. And it's a difficult one, and not a lot. It's not the best for the drivers out there to sometimes. A lot of times it's just racing this track itself and trying to get a good spot for it here. But yeah, driver details here. I'm watching her at Pineda at the moment, and so we need that track map so we can get that out there and let you know where your drivers are. And you can see how small it is, and already the drivers, the GT3s LMP2s are starting to get stretched out just a little bit, but you can see some tight action back with the GT3s here, and obviously just nose to tail, just waiting for somebody to make a mistake or be able to get that opportunity to get that nose in and get a pass where they can. Detroit's a very hard track to get a pass on, and it's difficult. I've raced here I think once in the other classes, and it's been it was difficult. It was just kind of just Congo line your way through, and then if you got to run, trying to sneak your nose in there, and hopefully the other driver wasn't cutting it off and causing some big pile up. And right now, not too bad, as I haven't seen too many other things. It does look like Steve Santana had an issue, and Stephen Luttrell as well. We'll go back and see what happened to Stephen Luttrell back here in the number 5, back here in 36th place. And just looks like not right there, but getting just on the throttle too much, sending that car around and off to the side. See, missing a wing, gonna lose a bunch of spots here. Try to keep it going forward until they can get back to the pits. They do get one fast repair, and you typically, at least I know the GT3s, if they stop early on, they can actually get their pit stop out of the way. So might not be too bad of a deal there for Stephen Luttrell. But back to the action. As the drivers are getting around here tonight, we'll go up to where Herbert Pineda's at, up here in P number 5, and obviously doing a pretty decent job, but he's got a rear bumper full of Devin Young, trying to you see Devin trying to give him look up to the inside there at Herbert Pineda, as they go through. And you know, it's kind of hard. You get a little run, but it does look like Devin Young has the corner there, and a little bit of bumping action there between the 99 and 3, but it was able to you know, kind of make that work here and not lose too much time. So there's going to be some bumpers to be had. Does look like our leader Jim Herrick is not our leader, but one of our admins out there has had an issue there. Jim Herrick in the 40 Racewear car having an issue here, and we'll see what happened here with Jim and another one. Yep, just got into the corner, maybe too much brakes, and then just nowhere to go, and you kind of get in this area. No damage on the car, so good save, but a lot of time lost here. You can see him. He has to do the old Austin Powers, get that thing turned around and get it going straight again. So good save there by Jim, but just losing a bunch of time. We'll go back live now and go back up to your leader as Craig Jansen now in some traffic. Now needs to get around the GT3s, and it has a mirror full of Dace Keeling. Yeah, we'll go ahead and switch the cameras back, looking back here from Craig Jansen, and you can see over the wing there, Dace Keeling just going back and forth, looking for that opportunity to get around the number 97 of Craig Jansen, and it's tough. And you know, Craig is known to not make too many mistakes. Hasn't had quite the season that he's had in the past, as Dace Keeling's been the dominating factor here for most of the season. But as of right now, Craig has Dace's number, as he had a better qualifying and now currently out front. And obviously that lap traffic will limit them into their ability to make moves on one another. But right now, doing a good job getting around some slower traffic. Yeah, I mean, it's a smaller street series too. So I mean, already in traffic already from some of the drivers, you know, trying to take their time or had some problems already. But the leaders of the LMP2 pros are already making their way through some of the GT3s, and I think they're going to see them with their hands full here tonight. We're only 9 minutes in, and you know, not even 10 minutes. So definitely going to be a stressful here night for some of these drivers and getting the passes done. I think the pit stops are going to be brutal, and I don't mean brutal as hard for the drivers, but it's going to be, you know, important to get the right strategy, come in at the right time, you know, not come out and, you know, behind maybe some slower traffic or a group of slower traffic that could really slow you up and hinder your podium or even a win here for the race, depending on where you're at. But just kind of going back to the Packer, Carl. It's back here with the GT3s, so side-by-side action. It does look like the GT3s have a little more leniency of going over some of these curbs, and you see them riding them around and then maybe even using them to get that car to rotate just a little bit. It's just one of those courses you really feel constricted in you know, where you can actually drive in this track. And you know I've talked in the past about, you know, when I'm out there practicing for, you know, a road race, driving every single line. And here's one of the places that could benefit, especially if you end up side by side with somebody in an area that you're typically looking to hit the apex, and you might have to run a wider line or even a closer line, trying to hold tight so you don't drift out into somebody. And you can just you see a lot of wiggles from some of the cars and here on the track, and you know, just a lot of fighting. And I think it's not so much with the drivers, but with the track car. bouncing in here with Jay Little as working her way down here, and we'll see what happened to Jay. And just obviously did not know the likes of the 67 was there, and ends up getting taken to the wall, and probably got the brunt end of that. But the 86, if we would have got that call and just been able to hold on a little bit better on that outside, might have found himself. But just kind of sitting there, I think, waiting to be predictable, holding brakes for the other drivers, and is going to do the sportsman thing and tow that one back to the pits here. So tough break there for Jay Little as he was having an okay run. And here you see some battling going on here with Michael and Tanya back here in 27th overall here. And there's a couple of them here. We'll see an LMP2 go by. Actually, a couple of them. So, they got their hands full here. It's really a difficult track to kind of go side by side and work your way around here. But might even go up in the air here, Carl. Might take the fans up into the blimp here and just kind of give them a little better, not a better view, but just a kind of a more of a bird's eye view on what these drivers are having to deal with here. If I can find the cameras. And here we go. And you can get a little better view on how everybody's kind of working through. And you can see the trees that Carl was talking about. And not really in the way of the drivers per se, but just obviously right here. Nice little run. They got more of the backstretch coming down to their first turn there, or the last turn. I forget what one it is. And it's a 90 degree. So you come down here, and it's where a lot of the passing, obviously happens with the LMP2. There you see, the closure rate, and the drivers, even at some LMP2s, battle one back there behind Michael and Tanya. And we'll go ahead and switch to the gearbox, so you can see those LMP2s just kind of swarming. So GT3 is trying to survive, trying to battle, and you got the LMP2s trying to make their way through and not lose too much time to each other, trying to get around some slower traffic. And it's not like the GT3s are like extremely slow or anything. They are actually pretty quick, and when it comes to straight course, and you can see that the braking is much different between the GT3 and LMP2. LMP2 actually needs a little bit more time to get that car slowed down, carrying a little more weight. But the LMP2s, you just kind of have to trust them. We've talked to some of the drivers throughout the season and kind of trying to figure out what their success is, and a lot of them say trust the car, trust that downforce, do what it's supposed to do and get you around that corner, within reason, not pushing the car. I do know that you got a special event coming up here. It's sponsored by a Majors 24 setup shop that they put on at the Le Mans. It's going to be a 24-hour event. There's typically 8 to 10 splits, multi-class racing, GTPs, LMP2s, and your GT3s. And I think when we first started, Carl, they were still rocking the GTE cars. We've been part of that for a few years, and going to attempt it again, and maybe we'll get a decent year this year. I mean, we just keep having our battles with that track and car, and it can be some of the simplest racing, but usually most of the time, besides the computer issues that we've had, it's been getting caught up in like the Porsche curves, where we've caught a car sideways and there's nowhere to go. So it's definitely going to be one for the books here for all these drivers. I'm sure a lot of them will be involved here, and it's put on by a sim shop, so a lot of sessions will be going up, and there'll be prizes, and some of them are the top split I know is broadcasted, and they even have stewards. They even bring out random cautions throughout the race to kind of pull things back together and making things a little bit interesting for the drivers during that race. But here tonight, it is all Craig Jancic. He's got a nice 2-second lead as he's been working his way through traffic, flashing anybody he can to try to get those runs off and around them as quickly as possible. You see Bryce Reiner has made his way in there as well, up in the second, and Devin Young now in third, trying to look for your points leader Dace Keeling. And I'm trying to look back to see, I didn't see anything red come up for Dace, so maybe just taking an earlier pit stop and trying to get it out of the way. And that was part of the my talk there about a little bit of a challenge with pit stops and making sure you pit at the right time, and you don't come out in a big group of traffic where it could possibly you'd lose benefit. You have to be slower, so you're going to lose time to whoever you're racing against. So, but some great racing out here. I do see Bevan McCombs crash here and jumping into the pit, so we'll see what happened to Bevan there in the number 46 back there, having a rough race at the moment. Anyways, at the time of this, he was back in 42nd, and just a little too much throttle there for Bevan. Ends up sending the car, turns around, and maybe is fed up with the street course, but tows it to the pits here early in the race. So back live here at where everybody, you can see on the left-hand side, you see your leader, Craig Jancic, over to Bryce Reiner and Devin Young for your LMP2 Pros. Your rookie leader for your LMP2 as Heron, LMP2 AM is Randall Dilemma and William Burrell. And then you have Merriam in the rookie GT3 that's actually leading overall. No, take that back. Richard Hearn. No. I got the Richard Hearn and Miriam got them together, and Hearn is in a Dallara. But anyways, they're in the rookie class. But your pro is going to be Kyle Kobler right now, leading the pro series there, with Frank Pisano in second, and then Christian Ortiz Torres sitting up there. Pretty well. Got a car in between him and Ian Southern that's running in second place for the GT3 Ms.
Was last week, but considered that this is actually our second street course in a row, because technically the Nordschleife is considered a one-way public toll road. Now, it's not considered a racetrack, but it's also not just open to the public. You have to pay a fee to get in there. So I know you're probably not the best person to ask on this, because you think 1 mile ovals are short tracks. So I'm not sure you'd be the one to classify which it is, but I guess technically speaking, maybe 2 street courses in a row here if you want to consider the Nordschleife a public road. It's technically a one-way public toll road, but I don't look at it as anything other than the green hell. But here at Detroit, this is a typical what I would consider a street course, and a pretty good one here. Like I said, it doesn't really get touched too often here when it comes to leagues, but it can be a fun one. I think we maybe run it one other time, maybe in Gore, and I think this is the first time they run it here in CSRL, and maybe the second time. But it hasn't been touched too often here. But to me, it feels and it looks a little bit wider than Long Beach. So I would think maybe it puts on a little bit better driving, but it's still a street course. It's still tough to get those runs, especially the LMP2s, only maybe 1 or 2 spots where they can kind of open up the throttle a little bit and actually be faster than the GT3s to make those passes. So I'm sure traffic is not exactly easy here tonight, but so far so good, and it looks like certainly some pit cycles starting to happen here tonight.
Yeah, some of the pit cycles actually starting to happen here, and I'll turn down the interval and show you the pit lap here for the drivers on when they came in up on the leaderboards there, and you can see Dace Keeling obviously currently running in 9th overall, 4th for your LMP2 brother, was in on lap number 10, and then Hutchinson was in on lap 13, currently up there in 14th place, and obviously just the field is starting to come in, and they're going to start trickling in here until they all get in. Everybody's got to stop at least once. We're almost at the halfway mark. We're at 22 minutes. So I think while they're getting their pit stop and some fuel, go ahead and we'll quiet me down for a little bit, and then we'll head over and give some love to hear it.
Sights and sounds here of the Detroit Grand Prix at Belle Isle with the CSRL series, and we are starting to wind it down here a little bit as we are about a half an hour through this race. Devin Young currently leads the way. Stevani Madrigal, Herbert Pineda, Trent Blaylock, and Craig Jancic for your top 5 as we're still working our way through the pit cycle at the front of the field. But all in all, I mean, some drivers having some issues here tonight. A good sized field here once again. 45 drivers signed up for the race here tonight, and it looks like we still got 37, maybe 38 drivers still out there in the field. So all in all, I think maybe some drivers taking some lumps, but still a good amount out there.
Yeah, some having some issues, and a bunch of Dallaras. Obviously, I've seen Jim Dutton miss a braking point and end up having to tow, so that put him back a little bit, and looked like he was trying. I thought about making a pass, would be on the outside, and just when he got on the brakes, the car decided to go straight. And there's a few areas on this track, and we've seen them during the replays where you can miss the corner, but you're kind of in this pocket, and you get turned around, you lose a lot of time. Oh, what a send! I think
that was a little bit too deep,
and that was on the likes of who was that?
Bryce Reiner, I believe.
Reiner, yeah. Let me go back and see what happened to Bryce here. We'll just get that. You see that late dive there, and maybe just a later braking point there for the number 55, and some massive damage. I don't think I've ever seen an LMP2 lose the back half of the car. So
I've seen it on some really bad wrecks there, but that was it kind of started. It was like dominoes. The back half or the back end fell off, and then the whole back shell fell off. Yeah, it was. Oof, that was a rough one. And then it's a good thing it was virtually here for Bryce Reiner, but it's going to end his race as he ends up getting a meatball from that one. Toes it back to pit lane. I doubt we'll see that Dallara back out there on the track, but either way. We'll see how the rest of this race plays out. Certainly some explaining to do on that one, and maybe some drivers getting slap on the wrist for sure for the late dive there. But I think it was just a missed braking point, and tried to go to the inside to just try and save it a little bit, but unfortunately Reiner was already committed to his entry as well. Seeing a couple more drivers, Stevani Madrigal, Herbert Pineda in to make their pit stops. It's like Ryan Merriam, Frank Bassano in from the front of the GT3 field as well.
Yeah, it's he looks like he's out on the track. But he is. That's why he's getting back underway here, and it's Frank Bassano's in the pits there. So yeah, it's definitely getting a little spicy here in a few spots. Looking at the interval here, as I got the pit laps up, but we'll go ahead and put the intervals up, back up here, and see how far behind each class or each position each person is. But you can see a lot of it's not much orange or battling on the track, just a few pockets here and there, and everybody kind of spread out. So Detroit having their way with some drivers here tonight, and I talked about it a little bit early, and you have to survive this track. Some pretty big movers. Obviously, Christopher Regan just came in the pits here. He was up 10 spots before that. Renan Dilemma doing a good job here tonight. He's up 10 spots as well, so getting that number 82 up there in the top 10 with pretty stiff competition out here. Obviously, Renan Dilemma is your LMP2 leader right now, so cracking the top 10. Next LMP2 AM is Paul Smith back in P number 12, and has trying to get around some lap traffic, or slower traffic I should say, and it's just got to be patient, and there's a lot of patience to be had at this track. A lot of slower corners, and speeds get up there pretty quick in certain areas, but a lot of it 50, 60, 70 miles an hour, which is feels like a turtle's pace, which these cars can actually do. But you see the passing, and even some GT3s taking advantage of another GT3 kind of being out of position to either get a spot or at least get around. So sometimes an LMP2 can open an opportunity for a GT3 to get around. So if you're battling somebody, can't get around, and then that LMP2 kind of makes a hole and makes the driver that you're battling run an offline where you can still run the faster line, and then you can find yourself being, you know, side by side, or at least maybe get a position, and it's going to be extremely difficult to get it back. But back up front here for your GT3 leader, it's going to still be Ryan Merriam leading the way here over Kyle Kobler, and Kyle Kobler back about 19 seconds between Kyle Kobler and Ryan Merriam. So Ryan to kind of running away here with this one. Must like these road courses, but if not, at least doing some great driving there. Is maybe a little upset with the LMP2, or maybe saying no problem. You know, sometimes lights mean one thing and sometimes they mean another, but typically they're get out of my way, or what were you thinking type of flashes. But your LMP2 leader still is that number 97 of Craig Jancic, out to a 10-second lead over Devin Young. Dace Keeling back up in the top three has worked his way through, so maybe just a little rougher time with traffic tonight, but obviously has a pretty good points lead here coming into what's the last, there's one more race after this one, so has a nice points lead. So like one off night, or a night where Craig Jancic gets him by a couple points or a couple positions is not going to hurt that championship run there for the number 6 of Dace Keeling. And every time I see the 6 though, I keep thinking of Mason Smith. Mason obviously was a big time driver here on CRN for a lot of different series, and then was able to win a championship here with CSRL. So this to see another 6 out there for CSRL sometimes makes me go, but decent race here I think so far, and I think drivers will probably go back. The admins, I'm sure, will have their fun with some of the incidents that maybe we didn't catch on the camera. And they fine-tooth anything, and people can put in protests and stuff like that, so they go back and forth. But they do a real good job stewarding the races afterwards and getting everybody the penalties they deserve, or clear them of any kind of incident that somebody might have been involved in. But you see there missing that corner right there on that replay, and that's kind of what I was talking about, where you can miss a corner, but you find yourself in a real bad predicament. But we'll get back to live action here. And right now, your leader of LMP2's pros is going to be the leader of Craig Jancic. Up here, doing a great job. And trying to see our closest battle on the track, though, back here with GT3s. Frank Pisano in tow here. Jason Phillips right in front of him, and Christopher Hamilton right there as well. So just everybody, I think, doing a pretty decent job, Carl. I mean, it's a tough track, and it's all 45 minutes here is a nice little while to stay focused and stay off the wall.
Yeah, it's a track that constantly comes after you too. I mean, there's very little time for you to kind of breathe. You're always getting out of one corner, or you're setting up the next corner. There's only a couple spots that you got to open up the car a little bit and maybe take a breath, take a hand off the wheel, shake it out a little bit, and then refocus, because you're coming up on another corner. I want to thank everyone out there in CRN Nation for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. Excuse me. I want to thank our sponsors here for the series as well: Digital Sim Sports, Ace Motorsports, Sim Gaming Expo, Chandelure Leather, Martin PC, and 40 Racewear. As I know, quite a few drivers went to the Sim Gaming Expo I think it was this past weekend or the weekend before, down in Charlotte, and had a really good time. And I think there was even some drivers that partook in some of the racing events virtually there. I know Dave Tilford, a competitor here in the series, and certainly in Core as well, ended up getting, I believe he got a podium in the one broadcasted event from there. So congrats to him for doing that. And you see those lights that Jimmy mentioned right there, and I kind of think of the lights as a driver holding up a finger. Sometimes, at the end of the race, drivers are flashing each other, throwing up a thumbs up. Good job, good race. Other times, man, they're throwing up another finger because they're trying to get through, and drivers are making it tough on them. And I'm not sure which finger is getting held up right now from Craig Jansen. He's just trying to work his way through this traffic.
Yeah, and Craig's trying to get through these GT3s the best he can, and they're battling. So it's one of those situations where they're trying not to disturb their battle too much, but trying not to lose that 10-second or that lead that he has on Devin Young. So it has some time though. So only a little over 5 minutes left of this race. Lap times are right around a minute and a half. So you're looking at 4 laps probably still remaining here, maybe 3. A couple more times around this track for some of these drivers. He should be in pretty good situation, but he's going to go ahead and get around Alex Zark. As you can see, the GT3 is behind Alex here. As we're kind of watching back in the battle as they're trying to track down Zark. As he is 21st overall. Craig Jansen, your leader, obviously getting around up there in first. Devin Young in second. Does have a mirror full of Dace Keeling. We'll hop on with Dace here, and we'll flip the camera around as he drives up on Devin Young and trying to get that 6 back up in the P2 spot. And you kind of seen Dace kind of fall off, and he was running in second, and maybe just felt more comfortable coming in a little bit earlier. Maybe trying to get the opportunity to get in some better traffic, and it's just a difficult track, and maybe just got stuck behind one too many slower cars. And you can see right here a little bit of a battle here getting around a pace car, not a pace car, a lap car, and Devin Young doing a fantastic job here as well. So it's very hard to make a pass here. You have to wait for almost somebody to really truly make a mistake or put the pressure on and get that carbon bumper up on the other car here, and hopefully don't spin them out in front of you and take yourself out. So yeah, it's a good run here by them, but this is the battle here for P2, and it's coming down to the wire here with just a few more minutes to go. Christopher Hamilton has closed the gap there on Frank Pisano, and trying to maybe get one more spot there for Chris. He's up a few spots here tonight so far, up 9 spots. Biggest mover of the race, looking at the tower here, is going to be right now in the likes of Cesar Colon Torres, back here in 31st overall. Looks like he is 5th in the GT3 AM class. So, but great job for coming back here. This on a track like this to earn them positions. Qualifying can go bad here. You get one off track or one slap on the wall, you can find yourself
one brush of the wall. Yeah,
starting back there. So that's one thing about iRacing. You can make no mistakes as far as incidents go. Not even a 0x, or it basically doesn't count that lap for you. So, but good job there for Caesar, as he is up 14 spots, maybe hoping that somebody drops out or he can get another spot here. But doing a pretty decent job. It does look like go back up here with Frank Pisano and Christopher Hamilton, because that is where one of the battles is on the track. And Frank's been doing a fantastic job, been up front pretty much all evening. He's gained a few spots, and I think that's from the Dallaras dropping out. But fantastic run there for Frank. Kyle Kobler is your leader for the GT3 Pros, though, and he's running second behind Ryan Merriam, your rookie for the GT3. So, and it does look like Ryan is missing a front end.
I see why he's running in first. I mean, he's got 3/4 of a car, so he's a heck of a lot lighter than everybody. Now, I'm not sure what happened there to the 777, but it is certainly tore up, and he's trying to nurse this thing to the end, which is getting closer to it. But he's got a 16-second lead, 16.7-second lead on Kyle Kober. Can he get this 7/8 of a car to the end of the race? We talk about the point standings coming in, and as Jimmy mentioned, Dace Keeling, pretty sizable points lead, 117 points over Craig Jansen coming in, but Craig winning last week and now looking to go back to back here and win again. Double points finale coming up next week, so you never know. You never know if these points battles are completely over just yet. Paul Smith came in as your leader in the LMP2 AM class, and he is leading tonight and looking to stretch out his lead and maybe lock this thing up, because he's got a 116-point lead, 115.5 point lead over Renan Dilemma in the M class. In the GT3s, it is in the Pro class a lot tighter of a battle, 67-point lead for Chris Hamilton over Tyler Torville. And then in the M class, it is Christian Ortiz Torres, the one leading right now tonight by try to do some quick math here, 73.5-point lead over Cesar Colon Torres. We talked to Cesar Colon Torres last week as the winner and was able to close that gap by a good amount on the 11, but now maybe punch it back here as the 11 of Christian Ortiz Torres is shooting a shot of his own and trying to get the LMP or the GT3 AM class win here tonight. Colon Torres trying his best to work his way through the field. He's up 15 spots now, started shotgun on the field in 45th. He's up to 30th right now overall and 4th in class. So, excuse me, doing as good a job as you'd think he could here. Maybe trying to limit the damage, but it's going to be a bigger margin now come next week when it comes to the 2-hour double points finale. But that's next week. We still gotta wrap this thing up here tonight, and right now we're down to the final couple minutes of the race, so we should be seeing that white flag pretty soon.
It's already out, and Craig Jansen has already crossed the line there to take the win, and then Dace Keeling. Yeah, Devin Young is working his way around, has taken third there, and now kind of watching the rest of the field kind of finish up here. It does look like your GT3 Pro winner is going to be Kyle Kober, and then Phillips is going to be in second with Pisano in third. Hamilton going to bring up that 4th place for the GT3 Pros. Ryan Merriam, I think, is still... No, he's in as well. So he's your overall GT3 winner tonight here. So fantastic job there for Ryan. I would not expect anything less than Ryan to be up with the pros next season if he decides to come back. So just been a fantastic addition here at CSRL, along with a lot of the drivers that we try to get around and see what everybody's doing, but there's so much action going on the track, trying to give you what's the wrecks, some of the wrecks, and some of the battling going on, and it is really difficult in 45 minutes to cover 45 different cars and throughout the track at the time of maybe some fantastic loop up happening. But it does look like we're finishing up, only a few more cars out on track at the moment, trying to finish things up here. Cameron Burke in 27th right now, one of the last cars out there. I think Ryan Merriam has made it around here. It's going to be finished 14th overall, so just a fantastic job there for Ryan, even bringing home the partial car and getting it done here tonight. I think Joe Newman, he's the last one out here, so and he'll finish out back there in 33rd place. But some drivers not happy with tonight's results, I'm sure, especially some of the likes of the Dallaras. Finishing behind the GT3s is, I guess, one thing as the slower class car, is trying not to be beat by any GT3. That was always my goal, especially during endurance events when we run faster classes. Like, no slower car can finish in front of us. Even if we have a bad race and we wreck, our goal is to not finish behind the GT3s. At least give you something to shoot for, because most of the times when you bend it in the a long endurance race, the odds of winning go way down. So, you have to set some sort of goals. But you can see right there the 97 Craig Jancic being able to burn it down just a little bit here tonight, and kind of celebrating here, finally getting that win, that victory here. And to do it at a place like Detroit is kind of a difficult one. So, yeah, good shot there for Craig Jancic, and winning this one here for the LMP2 Pros.
And a good looking paint scheme on there. Again, honoring the late Kyle Busch with a Forever Rowdy paint scheme, as we're going to get our top drivers in here for their interviews. Again, Dave Skeeling winning the LMP2 Pro class. Paul Smith winning the AM class in the GT3s. It was Kyle Kopler taking the Pro. Christian Ortiz-Torres taking the AM. Ryan Merriam took the overall for the GT3s, though, so he's going to get an interview himself. And then our biggest mover of the race, Cesar Colon Torres, up 16 spots. We'll get the clean driver, or not the clean driver, the hard charger sandbagger award via Chris Burrell. So we'll get them here up right now. Looks like we got a couple of them. We'll go ahead and start from the top and work our way down, and we'll start with our first place driver overall back-to-back weeks now, the 97 of Craig Jancic. Craig, you had a fast ride out there, paying a little tribute to the late Kyle Busch as well, and you certainly made him proud out there, going back-to-back now, and maybe, just maybe, trying to make a points race out of this thing just yet.
Yeah, and first and foremost, obviously our community has just been rattled and destroyed, and huge shout out to my buddy Johan Seminario for all of the logos except for the Digital Sim Sports one that you see on this vehicle here today. He's made a number of touching tributes over the course of the last week to the loss of Kyle Busch, and it feels amazing to win one for his honor. Just can't even imagine what the Busch family is going through right now. So, really showed up here, and not to ever say that one has never given their all in this league, but I wanted to make sure that 110% was output here today. And the Forever Rowdy LMP2 was, we definitely got every square inch of it out here on Belle Isle. And man, what a fun track. I think it, I know I'm only one car going through the field, but I actually think the traffic was pretty respectable and manageable tonight. And I think a lot of the field handled it really well. And just a couple of guys that I was in chat with in DSS were commenting similar things, even though a couple of them did have their own misfortunes here tonight too. So I think it puts on a good show. I think, we are unfortunately maybe catching lightning a little too late here, because we'll really, we'll still have to consider Dace having a major mistake to have a shot at this thing next week as we head into Roadmaker for 2 hours. But, you never say never. All I said last week was I wanted to go there with a chance, and I think we're doing that.
Yeah, I was going to mention about the traffic here. It seems like for a lot of the track, that Detroit seems to be a bit wider than a track like Long Beach. Do you feel the same way in the car? Do you feel like this track has some wide spots where you feel like you can really set up passes and make passes maybe a little bit easier on the competition?
Interesting point. That didn't occur to me, but I actually think you're right. There's narrow points. There's places where not only can the LMP2 not touch an apex curve, but the GT3s can't even. So that kind of like acts as a slowdown and a bit of a funnel effect. But you are right. There's portions here that open up, and I don't think there's many corners here that were like maybe you could pull off a really testicular move. A lot of places like Long Beach is one where you can put it in there just about in any corner, but it might be risky. Here, it was pretty clear cut yes or no if you can make moves, so maybe that made it a little easier too. But I was really careful once we got our lead here to be really, really careful with the car, and that totally paid out. I don't know, honestly. Maybe you guys can tell me. Did Dace get damage on his in-lap? Is that why he chose to pit when he did? Because it was definitely mathematically easy to see that was not going to work out for him.
Yeah, not sure if it was damage or maybe he was just trying to go off strategy, maybe trying to file out and get some clean air to try and get a run. So not really sure why he came in as early as he did. But either way, it was going to be tough to get you here tonight. You get yourself the pole, you get yourself the win here again. And I mean, one of me and Jimmy's favorite tracks here on the service to do a broadcast on that just about always puts on a great race is Michigan International Speedway. You guys are in Detroit. There's some pure Michigan stickers on the wall. So I guess this is the closest we're going to get you guys to be on the Michigan International Speedway. So we appreciate it. We appreciate you coming close, at least. But either way, congrats on the win here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
If this is you saying kind things about a street course, I don't care. If we could just multiply this throughout the whole state of Michigan, maybe we could get one in the Upper Peninsula too. I'll take it. No, but next week should be a good show too, Road America. So don't sleep on that northern part of the states there. But thanks to everybody here in CSRL. This is an oval league, and there were still a lot of messages and condolences shared tonight and through the last week about the loss of Kyle. So pretty cool to see that. And huge thanks to you guys, CRN. Still love coming out here and showing off for you guys. It's an honor to have races like this that go our way, and the ones that don't, that are still entertainment value. That's what we all live for. So kudos to you guys. Thanks to my guys, Digital Sim Sports. A couple of us picked up the Rowdy tribute here tonight. I said to the guys, if Kyle had an impact on your fandom in motorsports, whether you liked him, hated him, indifferent to him, or were just excited by him, toss this car on here tonight for me. And I'm glad that we had a couple of people do just that. All my friends and family, mom, dad, Aunt Sandy, Anna, Uncle Lee, Chris, thanks so much for loving and supporting me here for many, many years to come on the simulator. Many years have passed. So all I asked for was a chance. Let's see what happens next week.
All right, buddy. Well, wish you luck, as not too long of a drive to go from Detroit up to Michigan to Wisconsin for the next race. So we'll see you at the 2-hour season finale. See if you can go 3 for 3 and at least make a run out of this thing.
I'll do my best, man. Cheers.
That's your winner here tonight, the 97 of Craig Jancic, getting it done here back-to-back weeks, trying to close that points title with Dace Keeling. Top spot here in the LMP2 AM class is going to go to your points leader, and that is the 8 of Paul Smith.
Hey, Paul's Jimmy and Carl up in the boot. Do you copy? Paul?
All right, maybe some trouble with Paul Smith, so we'll drop him down. We'll try and bring him up here in a little bit. So we'll go ahead and shift gears. We'll go over to the GT3 side of it, and Jimmy, let's try this again. We'll give you the overall winner in the GT3 is the 777 of Ryan Merriam.
Hey, Ryan, Jimmy and Carl up in the boot. You copy?
How you doing, guys?
Hey, not too bad. One heck of a race out there for you. Obviously, seen at the end of the race, you were missing a big chunk of your car, but you were still able to hold on to that lead and bring that thing to a victory. Give us a little rundown on your race tonight, and what were some of the challenges being out there on a street course with the faster cars?
Yeah, it was a good race. Qualifying is really everything at tracks like this, so the pole really helped to just kind of get out to clean air and just run laps. You're able to get a pretty good gap that way. Seemed like I had a little bit of pace on the field, so I was just kind of on cruise control, trying not to mess up, hit the marks, and it was working well until like 4 laps to go. And the hardest part was the lap cars and just the LMPs being it was such a tight track. So I didn't have too much trouble, but lap car just, he could have let me by on the straight, chose not to, and then in the next technical corner, he crashed and then sent himself back out into the track, and I had nowhere to go. So I'm lucky not to have a meatball. That could have been a lot worse, but just figured I'd try to get it home.
Yeah, you're definitely putting a pretty good stamp on the series for the races that you've been here this season so far, and you've been putting down some pretty good times, and it gives some of these drivers something to chase for. Obviously, I don't know a whole lot about you. As you know, you only being the first season, seeing you out on track. When I glance up and I get to see your iRating here, I definitely know that you have some time out there. So, but either way, you're getting it done here at CSRL. You get it done here at Detroit. You got one more event next week here, and it's going to be a 2-hour event. So you're prepared for double points at Road America, right? Yeah.
Road America. Yep.
Yeah, Road America is a great track, one of my favorites probably. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think I can make it. Right now, I'm thinking I can make it. So should be fun. Looking forward to it, and hopefully it goes well.
Well, hope to see you out there for that event, and wish you the best of luck. But for this one here, we want to say congratulations and give you some time for any shouts you may have in that 777.
Thanks, guys. No, just you guys. The broadcasts are great. I really appreciate you guys doing this, and it's fun to watch them back. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the shout outs. Again, congratulations. We'll let you go celebrate this one with your friends and family.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Yes, sir.
That is your overall winner in the GT3 class of 777, Ryan Merriam. We'll try one more time here. We'll try and bring in Paul Smith, the winner in the GT3 AM class. Paul, do we have a copy? Paul Smith, one more time. It looks like maybe having some mic issues for Paul here tonight. So we'll keep it with the GT3s then, and we'll switch over to your GT3 AM class winner, if I can find him. There we go. And it is going to be the 11 of Christian Ortiz Torres coming home in 24th overall. Christian, last week you had Colon Torres take it to you and take the win. We got to interview him, not you, and he closed the gap on the points. Now, little role reversal, and you're out here and you take down Belle Isle. I mean, this was a street course, but as I mentioned to Craig Jansen, it seems like it's a little bit wider out here, maybe a little bit easier to make passes. Certainly, you didn't have to make too many passes. You're only up 6 spots from where you started. So, how was the track out there? How was the concrete? It was typically it's a little abrasive on tires. How was it working for you?
It was definitely tough at the beginning. I knew that cold tires was going to be a difficult time at the beginning, so I just took it easy at the beginning. The goal for me was put a good quality and just stick to my position. I think that was a goal, since in this track I feel like it gets hard to pass somebody because you only have a few opportunities for a pass in the slow section. It is a little bit hard. You gotta almost send it and make the pass very aggressive, but I try to stay ahead of the people that were following me and just try to maintain the consistency. But at the end of the race, it was just tires were getting worse, and I was having to calm myself down, and I was just telling myself, just make it to the finish.
Well, it worked out, and it definitely seems like it's been a heck of a good season for both you and Caesar. But it's definitely going to come down to you two when it's the season finale next week. 2-man battle, as it's kind of been all season long. I know Ian Southern started off hot, but hasn't been in the running here for a little bit now. So it's down to just you and Caesar when it comes to Road America. How do you think your chances are? You're going to be leading the points going in, but double points on the line.
Shout outs to Cesar. He's going to be a tough competitor, and it's been pretty close on the points. We're almost tied coming to the end, and the next race is going to be fun. Hopefully we both can put some good qualities and see if we can just battle that last race and have some fun.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats on the win here tonight at Detroit. Before we let you go, who you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Shout outs to Black Saturn Racing and all of you guys out there.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again. We'll see you at Road America. See if you can take down this AM class title.
All right. Thank you, guys.
That is your GT3 AM class winner here tonight, Christian Ortiz Torres in the number 11. The GT3 Pro class winner is going to go to Kyle Kobler here tonight.
Hey, Kyle, Jimmy, and Carl, up in the boot to copy.
Yep, I got you guys. How you doing? Been a while.
It's been a little while, but obviously got a chance to get up here tonight, and you get it done here at Detroit. It's obviously not a fan favorite of myself, and I know how difficult it can be as you guys are really constrained here by some concrete barriers and some tight corners and some. Obviously, you have your issues with the LMP2s, trying to get around and not holding them up, and you trying to make passes. There's everything going on here all at once in a quick 45-minute race. And I want to say congratulations, man. Give us a little rundown of your race and how it was for you in that vehicle out there tonight.
Well, it was pretty nice that all the good guys didn't show up or qualified poorly, so gave me a little bit of an advantage. Also, this is the first track I ever bought on iRacing like 4 or 5 years ago, so I feel like I know it slightly better than some. But yeah, I just warmed the tires up, cranked the brake bias all the way back, and started I was just driving the car and trying to get around without hitting anyone. And I think I collected Eric, I think his name is, at one point, coming out on the long stretch in the back. And that gave me some wheel damage. Other than that, it wasn't really slowing me down too much. I was keeping pace to the guys behind, so I brought it in the pits with 2 laps till I needed to. And yeah, the rest I just drove her home. Came under. I somehow gained some time on them in the pits as well. So
hey, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And
yeah, it works out.
Being able to get that top spot here tonight. So obviously, we want to recognize that. Say congratulations. You got one more race left on the season. Got a 2-hour event. So you're prepared for the mini endurance event here at the end.
Yep, getting ready for it. I think it's Road America, so that's a track I'm familiar with at least. So it's not Road Atlanta, which I don't like. So, so very, very grateful for that. So
both of them I don't mind, and Road America was definitely up there towards one of the tracks I enjoy myself. So I wish you the best of luck, man, and I hope to see you out there and do really well. But for this one here, we want to say congratulations and give you some shout outs or time for any shout outs you might have in that car.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Just thanks to the wife and kid for dealing with this every week. And yeah.
We appreciate the shout outs. And again, congratulations. We'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
That is driver of the 19, Kyle Kobler, taking home the GT3 Pro Class, finishing second to Ryan Merriam, who's probably going to be joining him in the Pro Class very soon, as he's been putting in some good runs here. Certainly a good one in the Aston Martin here tonight. But man, that started the furthest back, started shotgun on the field here tonight, just doing everything that he can just to try and figure out a way to talk to us, just in case he doesn't make the comeback and win the championship here in the AM class. That's going to be the 007 of Cesar Colon Torres. Cesar, issues in qualifying, deciding not to qualify. What was the deal? Because clearly starting last is probably not what you wanted to do.
Definitely not what I wanted to do. As I looked at the standings, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I expected out of this one. I was learning as we went. So a couple big major incidents from me, and it kind of left me where I was, and the race didn't go much better, but it did. It was a track that I think demanded a lot of everyone, so it pulled a lot of them out and left me with a solid result, I guess. I was borderline about to quit this one, so I'm surprised.
Listen, it worked out. You got yourself at least up to fourth in your class. But I gotta ask you, when's the last time you started last from any race? I mean, I would think it probably had to be pretty while.
Yeah, it's only ever if I want to challenge myself to get some safety rating or something, but yeah, I haven't done that in any of my leagues in a very long time. Just disappointing, honestly, from me, but it was, like I said, it was a new track, so it's okay. We came out with what we came out with, and we'll take it and learn from the next one. Question mark?
Well, you and Christian definitely have the closest battle in the points going into the season finale at Road America next week. Double points on the line. Do you think you can get it done? How do you feel about Road America? Do you think you can at least beat Christian and give yourself a chance?
Okay, so yeah, Road America, not my favorite track. Stig is a teammate that I always run enduros with, so I know his driving style, so hopefully I can keep it close, keep it competitive within these next 2 hours, and maybe snag this win from him in the end, but we'll see. I know that this is going to be one of his comfortable tracks, so I got to be on my A game with this one.
All I heard was, I can't stand the man. I'm punting him in turn number 1. That's all I heard.
You got it right. That's exactly that sounds about right. You didn't quote. You heard the quote here. You heard it first.
All right, buddy. Well, that's
stay on your P's and Q's, buddy. I'm coming for your rear end. Pause.
There it is. There it is. Shots fired. I guess 007, especially with the new 007 game coming out. There you go. Early shots fired here. Either way, congrats on the Chris Prell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Shout out to the Black Saturn team, Logan, Brandon, Stig, everyone, John, everyone that's over there. My girlfriend who's always supporting me. And shout out to the Sim Racing Expo people that I got to meet this weekend. And you guys that are always putting on the broadcast, and CSRL that always puts on these races. You guys are awesome.
All right, buddy. One more race to go. We wish you luck at Road America next week.
Thank you, man. Here we go.
That is your Chris Prell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner here tonight, the 007 of Cesar Colon Torres. That is going to do it here for tonight's race at Detroit Belle Isle. As we mentioned several times, it is one more race left in this season. Double points, double the fun as we go 2 hours long for that one. So looking forward to that, as it's a good track to go 2 hours on. A good track to have a little endurance race. Almost see who gets the points titles in all of the classes. Some of them maybe kind of done and dusted, wrapped up, unless there's some major incidents, major issues. But certainly keep an eye on that GT3 AM class, the closest battle going in there. But I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in. Again, if you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. Again, thank our sponsors, DSS, Ace Motorsports, Sim Gaming Expo, Chandelure Leather Company, Martin PC, and 40 Racewear for all the sponsorship. But for myself and Jimmy from Detroit Belle Isle, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.
Green flag drops on a Sunday night, engine screaming, fists up tight, Discord popping, somebody said, get you some before we're dead. Lap 1, chaos, 3 wide deep, somebody blinks, somebody weeps, rear view mirror full of smoke, cut me off, I want